All you food lovers, this is the one that you're not going to want to miss. For those of you who don't know, I am Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney, dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights, as well as trade secrets. And today we have a company out of China that has protected their dumpling via a patent in the US. Now, for those of you, you may be asking, Dave, how can you protect food via a patent? Typically, you're protecting widgets, you're protecting other things, processes and things like that. You typically don't see too many patents on food products. So we're going to dive into the article, let you guys know kind of what it is that they have a patent on. Then I'm going to give you kind of my share some of my thoughts on whether or not I think this is enough for the company, or should they take an extra step in kind of protecting something else with regard to the actual food product. Some housekeeping items before I pull up the article. Please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit the subscribe button to be a part of the IP community where we talk everything intellectual property. And this stuff is important, man. I had an interview today from a Shark Tank guest, Riverbend Resources, and he just kind of flat out laid out the importance of IP, how IP has made him millions of dollars and has been able to kind of protect him, especially as it relates to a particular type of patent, get a lot of knockoffs taken down, unfortunately from China. So this company is coming out of China. So we get off into it and kind of talk all about it. Just kind of me laying the land here. So this is a Chinese company. I do like dumplings. And typically dumplings are like kind of like a long piece of thing, like chicken dumplings, like a long piece of I don't know, shell or covering, whatever you call it, that you go to a restaurant or you cook at home. Seems like this company out of China has protected their dumpling, which is a unique shape and different from traditional dumplings, via a design patent. So for those of you who don't know, you can get a utility patent on something that protects kind of the functionality of it. So for example, this pen, you can get a utility patent on a pen that kind of has this gripping feature or kind of how it operates, how it works. But then you can also get a design patent on something that protects the visual appearance. And I guess one thing to note, a utility patent lasts for 20 years, whereas the design patent only lasts for 15 years. However, design patent is a lot quicker to get, as well as it's pretty effective. So in this case, the company, I think the company is called what? BBGO? I'll kind of pull it up here in a second. They have gotten a design patent on their unique dumpling, on their unique visual appearance dumpling. Would this be enough? I'll let you guys know at the end, so definitely stay tuned to the end. But let me kind of pull it up. So it seems like typically dumplings have this kind of shape right here, kind of more so longer, kind of fatter, middle portion, and then kind of the ends are, a little bit more tapered out. But Bibigo has got a design patent on their unique shape of dumpling, which is kind of more circular. It seems like this kind of helps out as it relates to keeping a dumpling together, which, pretty cool. So that's the shape of it. Let me actually kind of pull up the article now, kind of go through this actual dumpling a little bit more in detail. Here you go here. This is kind of fresh off the press here. This is actually a Chinese company. I'm not going to try to pronounce these names, but CJ secures U.S. design patent for BBGO dumplings. Again, this is the package. You see kind of the dumpling here. This seems like more of an inside of the dumpling. Let's kind of read the article. BBGO dumplings have been granted a design patent in the United States. The company said on April 17th. So this is just yesterday it was granted a design patent. According to the company, the patent covers the dumpling signature design characterized by two thin repeated ridges along the surface. The company filed the application in the U.S. back in 2023 and received approval on April 8th. The patent is valid for 15 years. I was talking to you guys earlier about how long a design patent is good for, especially in comparison to a utility patent. Unlike utility patents, which protects how a product functions, which I just talked about, U.S. design patents safeguard its visual appearance. With the approval, CJ BBGO has secured exclusive rights to the specific dumpling shape throughout the duration of the protection period. The news of the patent first surfaced in China after state-run media outlet Global Times reported on through its official account. The outlet criticized the move in a post titled something to the effect that it was absurd for a South Korean company to patent the shape of dumplings. Look, one of the things that you're going to have to know as a business owner, forget what the reports are saying, forget what the media is saying. You got to do what's in the best interest of your business. So, I mean, again, I applaud this company for actually protecting their product via a design patent. The post quickly drew backlash on Chinese social media, where many users argued that dumplings are a staple of traditional Chinese cuisine and questioned the legitimacy of the patent. Legitimate. Look, that's one of the things you have to know. Chinese law is completely different from U.S. law. And again, I'm going to show you why it is important to get a patent or get protection, I should say, in the U.S. As we kind of read this article. In response to the controversy, the spokesperson for Bibigo clarified that the patent does not apply to dumplings in general. Hey, man, you don't have to explain yourself, at least in my opinion. Forget what the media outlets are saying. This is business. The design helps make dumplings in large quantities without them falling apart. The spokesperson said, we didn't patent our dumplings, just this particular shape used. Man, you don't have to explain yourself. Meanwhile, Bibigo dumplings currently hold a 42% share of the U.S. business to consumer dumpling market, making them the category leader. They are also one of CJ's Bibigo key export products. So that's what's important in this case. It seems like almost half of this company's business is coming out of the U.S. So you would be silly not to protect this thing however you can in the U.S. And it seems like they have done that via or by way of a design patent. So forget what people outlets are saying in China, what they're saying in South Korea and these other countries. If half of your business is in this particular market, in this case the U.S., you need to make sure you're protecting it in the U.S. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. And it seems like that's kind of pretty much it for the article. Now, even though they do have protection by way of a design patent, which is good, I applaud them for getting the design protection. I think they also need to protect this thing and keep it as a trade secret. Now, what do you mean, Dave? And this is actually interesting because of a utility patent, which again, like I said, there's 2 types of patents, a utility patent and a design patent. And the utility patent, you're protecting the functionality of something and kind of the secret sauce, so to speak. Where design patent, you're not necessarily protecting the secret sauce. You're, like I said, protecting the visual appearance. But a trade secret, you're keeping that secret sauce confidential, and therefore, to the extent that it's kind of providing economic advantage, it's kind of beneficial for you to keep it as a trade secret, lock it in a safe, do anything that you need to do to take reasonable measures to kind of protect it as a trade secret. And I would imagine that they have a trade secret, or I would hope that they have a trade secret. So this is great because you don't want to kind of protect this thing via utility patent because you have to disclose the secret sauce. And after 20 years, everybody can kind of do it or make the dumplings in a way that you make it. You definitely want to keep that trade secret information or information of how the process of making it secret as a trade secret, which I'm assuming that they have. And again, I'm glad that they was able to protect it via a design patent, the overall visual and appearance. That only lasts for 15 years. And afterwards, anybody can kind of make dumplings to that shape. But again, the fact that they have the trade secret and they are allegedly the only ones who know how to kind of make the dumplings that way, that's going to continue to protect them for essentially ever or indefinite, as long as they can keep it a secret. And that's kind of the big benefit of having a trade secret, is the fact that, hey, to the extent that you can keep this thing a secret, you can protect it for as long or essentially an indefinite period of time. And actually talk about all this and the differences and the benefits of having something as a trade secret as opposed to a utility patent in my ebook that just came out a couple weeks ago. The link is in the description, so definitely go check that out. I give a lot of game with regard to intellectual property as well as other things in terms of coming up with an idea all the way to monetizing it. And this was good because, like I said, this company is protecting it via design patent, but also I'm assuming that they're protecting it, and hopefully they're protecting it via a trade secret as well. So they got the best of both worlds in this case. Let me know what you guys think, though. Those are my thoughts as an intellectual property attorney who's been doing this for 10 years. And as I learned from talking to the gentleman earlier, Eric, from Riverbend Resources, not all IP attorneys are created equally. And once that interview comes out in about 3 or 4 weeks, you can tell how he did not get some good attorneys early on, and that kind of cost him in many ways. So you definitely want to make sure you're going with somebody who's going to be able to give you sound strategic advice as it relates to, do I get a design patent on a product, a utility product, a patent on a product? Do I not get a utility patent and keep it as a trade secret? All that stuff is very helpful when you're trying to protect your product and kind of continue to generate revenue. And a lot of people don't know, particularly as it relates to the food products, that not only you can get a patent on it, but also you can get a trade secret. I actually, Cynthia Wong, who I'm not going to talk about that, but Folicious, which is another Shark Tank product, they actually was general recipe that was passed down from generation on noodles, and they were able to get keep it as a trade secret. She actually commented in that comment section saying, hey, we have the secret or the recipe locked away in a safe, and they're generating millions of dollars on their product by keeping it on their recipe, on their noodles, by keeping it as a trade secret. So having protection on a trade secret can be valuable and kind of make your money, make your company stand out amongst others. Again, a different thing about a trade secret as opposed to a patent, whether it's a patent, a copyright, or trademark, you're filing those with a governmental body. Whereas a trade secret, you're not filing that. You're keeping it as a secret. whether it's encrypted USB drives, whether it's flash drives, whether it's keeping it locked away in a safe. You're taking reasonable measures to keep your that confidential information secret and out of the hands of competitors as well as the wrong people. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, check out the ebook. The link is in the description section. Leave a comment. If you tried the noodles, let me know. Do you think it's good? Do you think that the fact that they are able to kind of be held in place is a lot better compared to traditional dumplings? I would love to hear your comments in the comment section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.